and the Kiwis and everybody who would like to know more about Chinese medicine or TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. And lucky today also we have a teacher, Sensei Yandi, Master Yandi, who is a teacher in TCM from Indonesia. He may add some more important important informations later on. Because as you know, I'm just like a newbie in Chinese medicine. So yeah, today I'm trying to explain to every one of you about what so-called the emotion that's very famous around the world, which is anger. Anger. And then I've heard from so many people that this emotion, no, it's not only popular, but kind like a lifestyle to the people around the world in this, especially in this pandemic time. So let's see what the Chinese medicine or the TCM look at these kind of emotions. It is very important to learn about it. And so because if you understand about it quite well, we can keep ourselves in a good health. Looks like something strange. How can somebody avoid to be angry, and then they will become healthier only because of that. We have in Chinese medicine, we have this kind of theory since about 5,000 years ago. So it's not only new. It's not only like through the kind like interview to several kind like mental health people, either the patients or the therapists. But this theory has been found and fixed by Chinese medicine founder since about 5,000 years ago. Well, who hasn't known me, I'm a TCM practitioner since about 12 years ago. In 2008, I opened up my first clinic in Auckland. And then before that, I was a public health specialist. Before that, I was a doctor. So I have so many schools that I have attended. Not all were finished by me, but at least I know bit by bit. So that's me. What you call kind like people who's trying to educate myself better, but it seems I'm still like that, still like before, not only a little bit. So anybody who wants to give me some more information, adding up some information, that will be wonderful. I appreciate on that. Okay, let's start with the presentations, with the slides. Let's start with the slides. All right, so I have chosen this title so people will put more attention on it, because in traditional Chinese medicine, I like to mention as Chinese medicine only, traditional, because it's still applicable in this millennium time. So this is the title: Anger is immensely poisonous for us. So it's it's really toxic for us. And then it's real, and then it's not only like kind like what's called proverbs or a slogan or something like that. No, it's really, and then we in Chinese medicine, we already have those kind of theory, you know, since 5,000 years ago. So it's not real, it's not new. You know, it is a 5,000 years old theory on this what's so called anger emotions. All right. Move on, please. All right. Okay, so this webinar is working together between Indonesia Solidarity, which is headed by Mr. Eko Dodo, and also with Indo TCM Center, who organize not only webinar but also online courses. So if anybody want to know about Chinese medicine more or deeper, you can contact Indo TCM Center. I think Indo TCM Center has an Instagram or a Telegram account, so you can try to find the what you call the account right there and contacting them directly. And I have to stress out that all the information in this seminar, in this webinar, is based merely on the classical textbook titled Huang Di Neijing. Yeah, okay, this Huang Di Neijing Canon of Medicine, you know, which is the main referer of the original traditional Chinese medicine, the classical traditional Chinese medicine. Everybody who wants to learn the classical traditional Chinese medicine or TCM has to read about it and has to understand very well the contents of it, right? It's not easy to learn. It's comprises of two big parts. Yeah, the first one is Suwen, or the global or the general question, and then the other part is Lingsu, or the specific questions or the difficult questions. All right. Okay, let's move on. Before I forgot, I think the organizer or the of this Zoom webinar will make a recording. So if anybody wants to learn about it later on or again and again, you may try to contact this Indo TCM Center. All right. So in traditional Chinese medicine or in Chinese medicine, anger is managed by the liver. All right. So sounds strange, eh? It's not by the mind or the brain or the higher neurological organs, you know, in the modern or in the conventional medical literature, right? So in Chinese medicine, anger is managed by the liver, right? So we use, or I use the word manage, not use control, right? Because if the situation is not really fortunate, say for instance, the liver is not in a good level of situation or functions, so the liver can be controlled by the anger. So it is like two double direction of arrow, you know. So liver is managed the anger, managing the anger, or anger can control the liver. So it's quite scary, because the liver, out of dozen and more internal organs, is one of the most important organs in our body. So in Chinese medicine, it's not the brain who is the most important organs or internal organs, yeah, but there are 5 important organs, which we will learn in a minute about it. Yeah, and liver is one of them, and then it's one of the strongest. So liver, you know, like if you have a weak liver, in Chinese medicine parameter, of course, you know, and you have to be very careful. You have to fix or improve the condition of the liver as soon as possible. But again, if I am saying something today in this webinar, yeah, it's only using the parameter or the measurement of Chinese medicine, not other methods of treatment. All right, let's move on. In the West, we know this. We know this terminology. This terminology is not it's not really nice. When I asked my daughter, who is like a native English speaker, I would say, although he's Indonesian 100%, but he's a native. She even doesn't want to mention it. Dad, why did you use those one? I said, this is very important. So I learned about it, and when I arrived in New Zealand about 21 years ago, people talk about this one until today. If I have somebody who's like an English-speaking person, I used to say, "Oh, it's like city liver, yes, Sony." Yes, so yeah, it's. I think people, I mean, the olden days, they already found out that the liver is bad. You know, like your behavior, you know, your sometimes, you know, more than that, your personality is really awful, awful. You know, it's not only like of your liver, you have like only a physical problem, but more than that. So that's why they call it, you know, like this with this terminology. If you're having shitty liver, nobody wants to what you call, to approach you. All right, all right. Maybe by yourself, when you learn about this afterwards, you'll hate yourself about this. So yeah, so actually this anger is already learned, you know, by a lot of people. I would say everybody in the world. Yeah, and then they have a bad names for that. Yeah, I remember it. My daughter told me that is a bad word. Why did you use it? Okay, I just want to show like that this kind of emotion is, it's really really bad. Yeah, so we need to know, what is the impact of this emotion if we have it. All right, let's move on, please. So in Chinese medicine, there are 7 types of emotions. You may say feelings, yeah, you may say psychological aspect. So there are joy, happiness, there are anger, there are grief, yeah, deep sadness, the worry and pensiveness, and fear and frights. It's not easy to differentiate sometimes, you know, about those fear and fright sometimes, you know, but this is, you know, I just want to know about these 7 types of emotion, which is, you know, which are the important thing that we need to find out in somebody or in a patient when we are making an analysis to get the what's so called a good diagnosis. All right, so we may have, you know, another another webinar about this. All right, and then yeah, next one. So let's go back to the liver again. So anger is one of the liver managerial function. I like to use, you know, this kind of wording, you know, because, you know, otherwise, you know, people will say, oh, it's only for medical people, for doctors, for therapists. No. TCM or Chinese medicine can be learned by anybody, Some of the great teachers in TCM, they came from a linguistic background, who learn Chinese language first, Mandarin, and then they become interested into Chinese medicine and learn and become, you know, like a great teacher, not only teachers. Right. So anger, you know, is only one. There are at least 7 functions. The first one is to ensure the flow of the energy of the qi and the blood, yeah, together. And then also it's a blood warehouse. It's to storage the blood, yeah, and control the sinews, the joints, taking care of the nails, and we may see it through the condition of the eyes. Some people they are doing diagnostics through the eyes, but unfortunately, it's only showing of the liver. Yeah, other organ is not too clear if you are looking only on the eyes. Yeah? And then it's also the home of what's so called the ethereal soul. It's a soul. Yeah, it's it's including the drives, the motivations. All right. If somebody like have no motivation, like it happens with with somebody who has diagnosed with depression, no drives. Right? Maybe there's something wrong with the liver. Maybe, yeah, or maybe the whole body system is like pressing the liver, so the liver becoming very very weak. And the seven, of course, is managing the anger. All right, move on. So when the liver is not working properly, it may produce many types of symptoms. Many types, from depression to cancer. We'll see why. Yeah, so although the liver only have seven of those main functions, which I already explained to you before, but when the liver is not working properly, it may make the body system, or the body produces some a lot of different symptoms, yeah, from depression to cancer, or move on, all right, or other symptoms. Now, all of those health problems which I've told you a minute ago, they are only symptoms in Chinese medicine, only. So we need to find out what the cause of that, or what has caused like all of these symptoms. We need to find out. So it's not only say somebody have, like, for instance, like, to give you example, headaches, all right, headaches, and then you said, oh, okay, we need to treat the headaches. We need to treat the head, and either with needles, or with herbs, or with whatever, or anything like painkiller. No, it's not like that in Chinese medicine. We need to find out what is the cause of the health problem, which is in Chinese medicine theory, it's only symptoms. Right? Okay, next one. All right. Even if you have itchy skin, or headache, I just told you, or say hard to sleep and everything, like it may seems like too simple, all those so-called disease or illnesses, or whatever, it may be because of the weak liver, right? So, like, I've thought, all of people who has participated in my webinar, and sometimes we have like the itchy nose, trying to scratch, and then we don't know why, sometimes it's so itchy, and then I used to put Chinese balm into my nose, and all of a sudden it's gone. It may be because of something, right? So yeah, because it's a symptoms, it's always the same. Either those itchy nose or cancer, just the symptoms. We don't have to don't have to be panic, especially the Chinese medicine practitioners, right? You don't have to be panic if you're a Chinese medicine practitioner. It's only symptoms, and then it's mentioned in the classical book in Huang de Neijing. So if you read it, carefully, and then you will find out it's only symptoms. All right, next one. Even the embarrassing fungus on the skin or ringworms or tinea, it may be caused by imbalance liver function or a weak liver function. All right. So like you don't have to be so busy trying to get like a very strong skin ointment. But then it's coming back again and again. A lot of people. I have a lot of eczema patients, and then some of them, not all, it's caused by the bad liver. So I don't have to say to give ointment to the whole body. I have a lot of people, the eczema, it's on the whole body from the tip to toe. I have, from babies till adult till old people, and all I need is to find out what is the cause of those illnesses, and then work on that. And then when the cause is already fixed, already has improved, and then all those symptoms will be gone, just like that. Yeah. All right. Next one. All right. So in Chinese medicine, the way in looking at the body system is like this. Out of a dozen or more, the internal organs, there are 5 organs which are very, very important: the lungs, the heart, the liver, the spleen, and the kidneys. These 5 is kind like organizing the system inside of our body. All right. So you won't find this terminology in the Neijing, but I call it 5 top managers. Yeah, 5 top managers, because these 5, if they are all good, they are healthy, they are strong, they are stable, you'll be a very healthy person. But if one of them, just one, it doesn't have to be 5, just one, you will have something like any disease or any illness, which is in Chinese medicine we call it only symptoms. So actually what's so-called the cause or the illness in Chinese medicine is this one, these 5. These 5, they are communicating all the time between organs. Very, very busy communications. All right. And then it is clearly mentioned in the main textbook of Chinese medicine, Huang Di Neijing, in the first part, the Suan, in chapter 10 and chapter 11. So this book of Huang Di Neijing already printed out in about 300 years before Common Era. So it's about 2,300 years ago. And the contents already has been discussed by the founder of Chinese medicine about in about 2,000 years beforehand. So like it's the if we are talking about the age of this book, it's about 4,000 years, maybe more, about 4,000 years. And then all about these top managers, it's already written there, very clear, right? All right, next one. All right, let's go back to the liver, because I've already told of you about this, the anger, it's like managed by the liver. So in Chinese medicine, the liver is the son of the kidneys and the mother of the heart, and then also it is bossing the spleen. All right. So the boss, when he or she is happy, everybody under the boss is also happy. When he or she is not happy, everybody's in trouble. Is that right, Mr. Raiko?
Yeah.
If the boss is not happy. Happy here in Chinese medicine means the function is not good. All right. So the liver, the kidneys, and the spleen, they are forming a very close network. right? Which is interconnected with other close or intimate networks. Let's see. Let's go to the next slide. All right. Before we are looking at those intimate networks, let me put forward these stories from my clinic. I used to call it like that. I'm sharing stories. I said I'm sharing what you call before bedtime stories, right? So there are a 65-year-old Kiwi lady, all right, from New Zealand, with a type 2 diabetes, and then has been treated with insulin injections for 9 years. Yeah, but she came to my clinic not because of those insulin injections, but because of depression. So her close friend is one of my old patients, and she brought her to my clinic, explaining that this lady doesn't want to come out from her rooms, all right? So everybody was really concerned about her. So anyway, and I've checked her with the Chinese medicine diagnosis techniques, and then I found out that the liver is on fire. So the liver was so hot, and at the end it was repressing the spleen. So I prescribed the spinach with the sweet potatoes. We call it right there kumara, right? Spinach. After about 1 month, without telling me before that, all right. And I think she told me after about 3 months. I think she said after 1 month I stopped using the insulin, and I was like, it's like really, to be honest, I was just like shocked. But then she explained because her blood glucose level is stable and then within normal range. That's why she was so brave. She was so brave. To be honest, I was like really, really, really shocked when she explained to me. But then it was about, I think about 6 years ago, and it happens. And then up till now, she never used any medication at all, right? Let alone the insulin. That's like the one of my experience with somebody with a very bad liver. Next one. This is a 63 years old Kiwi man. This story is very, very interesting. I remember the whole thing, in detail, because like it's really like for me it's like a learning curve. I learn from my patient a lot, and then this one is really my best learning curve. One of my best. So this Kiwi man, who is a director of a big finance company, was sleeping with the sleeping machines, or they call it the CPAP machines, or sleep apnea machine, because of his problem for 7 long years, right? For every single night. So he told me, he's very honest, this person. He told me about that, and he said, like, rather that I'm stopping, like breathing, like I better use these machines. And then he bring those machines everywhere in the world, because he loves to play golf, everywhere, out of New Zealand, right? So he brought those machines everywhere. So after I checked him, I found out that the liver stagnant caused by the working related incidents, and then I found out the exact time the liver was like started to be stressed, or by the incidents. So when he was working in a bank, in a big bank, in New Zealand, his boss is so mean. I remember I said, "What's happened with you 13 years ago?" And then that's when my boss, was so so rough, like really really mean to me. And then he said something that I wouldn't like to explain it to to his boss, because like, he didn't do anything though, until he retired from this bank. But those incidents really depressing him for 13 years, and then after about 6 years, he started to have this sleeping problem, and then he was prescribed these sleeping machines. And then after that, and after I found that the real diagnosis, I mean Chinese medicine diagnosis, I prescribed to him spinach, only spinach, I remember. So he starting, eating, those spinach 3 times a day, up until now. Although it's already better, he doesn't want to stop because he said he loves spinach. And then after 3 months, the sleeping becoming better and longer and longer. He used to wake up every hour longer, and he stopped using machines after 3 months. Yeah, until now. I think this one happens about 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago. So that is what's so-called the problem, like it's in the liver, but the symptom is in the sleeping aspect. All right, next one. All right, let's go back to this 7 liver function. I just want you to learn deeper about this Chinese medicine through these liver problems, right? To ensure the flow of the energy and the blood, also the storing the blood, controlling the joints, the sinews, taking care of the nails, and then sewing through the eyes or open up through the eyes, and then also house of the Hun. So if somebody is having a bad liver, be very careful. Your soul may be flying away. It's real. It is real. And then it's also managing the anger. All right. Next one. Okay. Okay. You are all now, studying Chinese medicine. Trust me. So in Chinese medicine, all organs have their small and close network. So the liver is the son of the kidneys, and the mother also of the heart, and then bossing of the spleen. So the liver, the kidneys, and the spleen form a very close networks, which is interconnected to others intimate networks. Right? So it's not working, by itself or themselves, these 3 of the organs, but also connected to other network. Let's see the next one. All right, now I just mentioned about the liver, the kidney, and the spleen. The kidney itself is the sons of the lungs and the mother of the liver, bossing the heart. And these three organs, which is, like they have, say, like they have their ranks, which is, they are the 5 top managers. They form a very tight network, which is interconnected to other close network. Right, such as, move on, please. All right, the lungs. Sorry, oh no. Backward, please. All right, so the lungs, and also related with the kidneys. All right, and the kidneys, the liver, mother of the liver. Sorry, I used to have to put the kidneys actually. And then bossing the heart. So the liver, the kidneys, and the lungs form a very tight network, which is interconnected to other close networks, such as, all right, move on, please. Next one. The spleen, same thing. The spleen is the son of the heart, the mother of the lungs, also the boss of the kidneys. These 3, they are forming a very tight network, which is interconnected to other close networks, such as, the spleen network, the lungs network, the heart network, the kidneys network, and on and on and on. All right. Move on, please. So now, have a thought about yourself about my explanations. It is very, very important to understand, and it's so easy. You don't have to be, you don't have to, to study it, for so many years. All right. So all those top managers, the lungs, the heart, the liver, and the spleen, in fact, all the internal organs closely connected influence each other so much. So meaning liver, if it is having like a trouble, in the book it calls called a liver imbalance, it may disrupt the whole body system. So it doesn't have to be two, just one. And then today I only explained about the liver. It may be other organs, other top managers. All right. All right. And then next one. So this is one of the theory in Chinese medicine, Wuxing or 5 phase. All right, which I just explained to you. If I put you into this diagram, you might be protesting to Mr. Echo. What's this? All right, this is from the book. Okay, so this is the elements that represented by the organs. The red is the heart, the yellow is the spleen, the white is the lungs, the black is the kidneys, and the green is the liver. All right. Let's get away from this. It may make like a little bit headache on you. All right. So that's like the one that I just explained. Also, there's a heart, there's an what you call spleen, and the lungs, and the kidneys, and the liver. All right, just one out of these 5 having problem, and then the whole body system will be in trouble. Trust me. Right? It may be from from different organs, from different top managers, but it will make the trouble to the whole body system. All right. Now, if you are happy, all right, like these children, I don't think they're angry because they can play so happily, on those big oceans. Right? So like the liver will be all right. Okay, move on. Okay, move back. Okay, now. So this is like the way I want everybody on this webinar to learn or to starting to learn about your own body, right? It's not about other people's bodies, but your own body. And then one of the factor that can disturb, right? And to be honest, not only disturbing, can destroy your health is the anger, which is the emotion that can repress the liver, because anger, like it's one of the strongest, it said in the book also, in the Neijing book, like anger is like one of the strongest emotions. All right, sometimes you can't control the anger, all right, because it's so strong. And then at the same time, it's also a heavy burden on your liver. So be very careful on that. Otherwise, like you'll be in trouble. Like just try to try to find out why that it's so easy. So easy. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I have somebody to explain to me. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Sony, for explanation. It was very interesting. It's very good. Yes, I think it's maybe for people like myself who do not really know about the traditional Chinese medicine and also doesn't really know much about Western medicine, also it's very important because I have my own experience as well. 2017, I have some serious illness, and Dr. Sony have a look and check, and I practice every day. They give me some only kind of food like spinach. So this very simple. And okay, anyway, I don't want to keep continue, and I think it's very interesting. And let's go. Anyone who have some question, you can put your hand up.
Yeah, I've got a question.
Yes. Noni Husson.
Nani, hello.
Hello, Noni.
It's very interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm interested. How did you diagnose with the lady with diabetes, for instance? How did you diagnose that the liver fire was repressing the spleen?
Well, Noni, well, today I'm just trying to explain a little bit of this, Chinese medicine, superficially, to be honest, right? Because it takes a long time to explain about everything. So in Chinese medicine, we have what's so-called 4 techniques of diagnostic. All right.
Sorry,
so,
what was that?
Four way of diagnostic. So
Yeah.
in diagnosing patients to find out what is the problem, which in Chinese medicine is the original problem of the illness. So it's not only the Mandarin word is chuyuan. Chuyuan means the starting point.
Yeah.
Right? The original, right?
Yeah.
So in trying to find out those one, there are 4 ways, like by looking at it, smelling, and then also asking questions, and then looking at the tongue, and
Looking at what? Looking at
tongue,
what?
the tongue.
Tongue.
Tongue, yeah. Looking at the tongue, and reading the pulses.
The pulse.
Yeah, the pulse. Yeah, reading the pulses. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after we are checking those kind of, collecting the information from those way of collecting what you call data, then we analyze it with the Chinese medicine theory. We have several Chinese medicine theory. There are yin yang, there are bagang, there are wuxing, there are san hanung, there are what else? Forgot. So yeah. Then we will get into what's so called which one of those out of those 5 organs is the one that initiating the problem. Initiating the problem, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anybody who wants to find out the original of the problem, all right, they need to see the practitioners for several times, mostly about 10 times.
Yeah.
And then after that, the practitioner will describe the diagnosis, the Chinese medicine diagnosis.
Yeah.
And then once the diagnosis is already found, he or she will prescribe the medications.
Okay.
And then it's very important to find out the real diagnosis, because if you can find, or if the Chinese medicine practitioner can find the real diagnosis, the medication will be simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, the medication will be simple. As I already explained, I've treated this man with what should I call, somebody was sleeping with with this machine, and then with the sound, and I've
snoring.
One of my friends. Yeah, the machine, and the machine is like this, making like a noise, just like when somebody's really making what's it called, snoring, yeah. And then after 7 years, and it's really awful, yeah. And then the medication is only the spinach medications, 3 times spinach. That's all. And
Yeah.
I didn't prescribe anything else other than spinach, and then it works very well. Very well. Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you for your question, Noni.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Anyone would like to make comment or ask some question as well?
I want to show Mr. Eko the last slide that I said before, to show maybe it's good for Noni to to
Sure.
see the last slides. All right, after this one. All right, now, so Noni, may this one can help you.
Yeah.
So how to find out about the state of your liver. This is the one that you want to know, right? So
okay.
I've written your question before you mentioned it to me.
Yeah.
So so you need to find Chinese medicine practitioners.
Yeah.
Either an acupuncturist or a Chinese medicine herbalist or a tuina practitioners or a cupping practitioners or a medical school, whatever. They use different way. That is only the way. Like herbs or needles or whatever around you, who fully understand the original Chinese medicine knowledge.
Okay.
Classical Wang Aging kind of medicine.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it. So if you meet somebody, just ask them whether they're using this Wang Aging or not. If
Okay.
say, oh yeah, we are using. Okay, you may try it. You may try them.
Okay. I've written that down.
Right. Yeah, you can ask the organizer to get this PowerPoint presentation, and then
yeah, sure.
they will send it to you. So it will be good for you to learn more by reading it again and again. Yeah, it's really good there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Noni. You're welcome.
Yeah, just to share that, I think Noni also working with health in Newcastle. Yeah, that's correct, Noni?
Yeah, I was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you were. Okay. Yeah, so
yeah.
So it's mean you still have some contact with the community about the health issue.
Oh, not so much now because I'm retired.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think you don't have to feel bad about your already.
No, I was in social work.
Wow, that's good. Yeah.
So I was very involved with people with emotions.
Oh yes. Yeah. For you, Noni, I will share one of my stories about this mental health problem. So one of my patients is a clinical psychologist.
Yeah.
One of my patients. Very interesting.
Yeah.
A psychologist.
Yeah, interesting.
And she's a senior one. Yeah. And
She was?
She's a senior psychologist.
Senior.
Yeah. I think about 60 years old something. And then she's very, very what you call somebody who who really curious and like to learn about everything. So he asked me a lot of questions, and then I love her so much. And then every time when he comes to my clinic, she always asks me a question, and then I explain like this, and then everything until one day when she's already better, she told me, Sonny, you know what? I stopped some of my old patients, my chronic patients, and I lost some. I lost some of my income, but I'm happier now. I better take care of my grandson. I just got a grandson. I better take care of my grandson rather than trying to treat those people. I said, why? I said, because you're losing some of your income. Yeah, because they never change. I said, how could you know? They don't want to change their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then she explained, she explained that she was trying to ask those people to change, their diets and their lifestyle, everything, and then they just like, they don't want to change anything. And and then the status of their mental or psychological situation didn't change at all. And then she said, "Oh, just wasting time, like looking after those kind of people." And then so, that is like one of my experience, for anybody, like if they don't want to change, their lifestyle, especially their diets, their psychological situation won't be changed. Because in Chinese medicine, the psychological aspect and the physical aspect, they are into one. It's never been separated or separable. Never. So like if we are working with the physical issues, at the same time we are also working with the emotional issues. Same, there never been any specialist in Chinese medicine looking after, like psychological issues. No. So yeah, all of my patients who is already becoming better from their physical problem or physical health problem, their emotional or psychological situation is also better.
Yes.
Also better. So some of my patients, they are so funny. They said, "Sony, you have to work in a prison." I said, "Why?" "Oh, you will change, like those behavior in this, those people in the prison." I said, "Oh," I said, "I wish." I don't think, like the authority, will allow me to work with these special people. I said, like, but like people, if they understand about Chinese medicine, it's really amazing. It's really amazing. I mean, look at this, like this man who is like in those heavy, angry situations, for 13 years, and then it's only fixed with spinach. Like only spinach, how much is spinach, all right? And so you can imagine, like it's so small. And then the moment he understood about the impact of those spinach, he doesn't want to stop eating those spinach until today. And then it has a real impact.
What are the properties of the spinach?
Yes. And this is actually, like you are asking a different methods of Chinese medicine. So this is called a food therapy. So now I told you about the acupuncture, the herbalist, using the spinach is called in Chinese medicine a food therapy or Chinese medicine therapy. I'm a practitioner in food therapy. I use food as a medication, only. So
use what? Food.
Food is like so. Yeah, the character of the food, like they have to be the same with the character of the organs. Like the spinach, like the color is green, dark green. It's also the color of the liver, so we can use it because it has the same character. And then when it has the same character, it works, very well with the organs. Yeah, there are different vegetables, fruits, or any other food and drinks. They have like a very specific character, and then it may be used as the medication, and very powerful medication. Told you, Noni, very powerful one. But you have this is people sometimes, when they are listening to my seminars, they are putting their attention to those food, like the spinach, like the ginger, like like the sweet potatoes. I said no. I said we have, like, if there is no spinach, we can also pick some other, like in Australia and in New Zealand, we have what so called hang on, the green one, bok choy.
Yeah, bok choy,
Bok
yes.
choy, yeah. Now you know it. I love it. We have Thailand. We have also kale. Kale is also very powerful. I prescribe kale to some patients who's like was diagnosed with the liver problem. So the main thing in this food therapy is the diagnosis. So like you can eat like spinach like maybe a kg or 5 kg a day. Doesn't mean anything if the diagnosis is liver. The diagnosis may be something else.
And that's where that's where you need to go to a practitioner.
Exactly, Noni. I think your first question is really useful and then really important. Like it's not about the spinach. It's about how to find out that you are having a liver problem.
Yeah.
So, it's not because a lot of people when they're talking about there's one therapist asked me, what should we do with the spinach? Boil it? Really? No, seriously. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And then she was like texting me, about how to do, like with the private message, like what should I do with the spinach? Like whether we are frying it, boiling it. I said no, it's not about it. I said yes, of course. We have to cook it, because it's a dark green. It makes like it also has the cold energy. So we have to cook it. But it's about the diagnosis. It's about the diagnosis. I was like like writing it, and I was writing it with a big capital on it. Diagnose. I said, because like if you are like somebody having this, or maybe it's liver, maybe there is no maybe in Chinese medicine. It's very exact. If you are saying Noni, if you are going to a therapist or whatever they are, and then they are claiming they are Chinese medicine practitioner, and then they're starting the explanation by maybe leave them.
Yeah.
That is my
if they say maybe, what? Don't do that.
If they said maybe, leave them out. Find somebody else. Leave them out. No, I'm serious on it. Why?
Yeah.
Because that's not good. I would say it's wrong.
Yeah.
It is very wrong. You have to respect patients.
Yeah.
Patient is number one in Chinese medicine.
And you have to feel a bond with the practitioner. You have to feel comfortable.
Exactly, absolutely. So if this whatever they are, whoever they look, like their appearance, or whatever they are wearing, if they're starting with maybe, okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Okay,
No way. There is no way. Like they said, like I know you on the first session. Oh, they must be so smart, and it's up to you. But I said, even my professor in China in Nanjing, Professor Tao Kun, he's I think 90 years old now. He always asks the new patients to see him 10 times before he find out the diagnosis and then prescribe something. Yeah. So you'll be very careful with somebody who's like explaining with maybe.
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Noni. Thank you for the question.
Okay, no problem. I'll keep quiet now. I think
that's okay.
Okay, Noni. Okay.
If you need more time, I'm just thinking about if you are interested and then you have community in Newcastle or anywhere in Australia, and we can have like this one, organized like this one with Dr. Sony. I think he's very keen. Yes, Sony, yeah?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was like,
and sometimes he also visit to Sydney as well.
Yes, and
I better try it first before I start organising seminars.
Right.
Okay, let's go with maybe anyone would like to ask question or any comment, please. Let's.
This Effie want to have questions. Effie,
Yes, please, Effie.
yeah, if the diagnosis is liver stagnation,
Right.
can see it many green vegetables like spinach, TCM, pak choy, broccoli, and other
Right.
substitute every day.
Okay.
Is it good or not? Like
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Effie. So yeah, the first one you have to find out is the diagnosis, right? Absolutely, exactly that one. So don't try to start with the food first or the drink first. You know, always, yeah, trying to get the diagnosis. Always. So if somebody, you know, like offering you something, and then like starting with whatever, you know, like this food, or you know, like from specialty or something, is good. If you are having that, you are having it, you are having cancer, having, and then I think you have to be very careful. Most of those one, you know, like if they're most of those kind of message, you know, it's not true. So you have to start with the diagnosis. Always. Yes, and then when you can find that the diagnosis is the liver, is the weak liver, you know, like it's if somebody's like who's treating you is Chinese medicine practitioners, he or she has to know uh, the types or the shape, you know, of this liver problem. So it may be liver fire, it may be liver stagnant, it may be empty liver. So you know, there's you know, some you know of these types of liver problems. So it's not only one. So each one of those type of diagnosis should have a certain types of food. All right. So like for instance, if the liver is empty, it's better to have liver, chicken liver or lamb liver or whatever liver, you know. So you know, like, and it's good to have because it's empty. You know, it needs to be filled in with something. We call it not heavy, but solid. So you know, it's not the spinach anymore. You need something, you know, like heavy. All right. In the olden days, the Chinese, you know, used to drink to eat the condensed blood, right? Yeah, but today, because you know, like there's a lot of issues on that, and they don't use it anymore. But that's because the liver is empty, so it's different. So it's different. There is no guessing in Chinese medicine, not at all. There is no guessing. You have to be exact. That's why, you know, I just explained to Noni, if you find somebody, you know, I mean practitioners, whatever, they claiming they are Chinese medicine practitioners, and they start with it, maybe, okay, let's, you know, better try to find another one. Trust me. So, you know, there is no, you have to be exact. You know, if say, you know, oh, your liver is bad, you know, say, you know, you're going there and then say, oh, your liver is bad. What do you mean by bad? Ask him or ask her. Very important. So next time, you know, like you're going to Chinese medicine practitioners, ask, you know, what kind of problem when you say, you know, my liver is bad or whatever, you know, like spleen or lungs or heart, what kind of problem, what you call it, it's bad, you know, ask. And yeah, so it's not about the food at all. It is wrong. In Chinese medicine, it's not about the food. So although we have a materia medica started by farmers, and like not a farmers, an agricultural expert called Chen Nong, which a part of it, you know, like it's explaining about the good food for certain problem. You know, it's not about the food itself. It's about the diagnosis. It's about the diagnosis. So you have to find out the diagnosis. Without the diagnosis, you are shooting, like a different different target in the wrong direction. You won't get anything. Nothing. Yeah, you won't get anything. Yeah, it's like you. I'm sorry, but I have to say, somebody's like that. Either the patients or the therapist, they are wasting their time. And then at the end of the day, and then they will blame the Chinese medicine. No, it's not the Chinese medicine. No, it is in the book. It's already explained very very detailed about how to find the diagnosis. Right? So either the practitioners has to read it again or read it all again, and then the patient has to be also mindful, has to be really thinking about it. Like this one, I said clearly to Noni, if you find somebody in the starting explaining to you about your diagnosis with maybe, leave them out. Okay, thank you, Effie.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sony. And okay, let's go. Maybe anyone would like to ask question or comment, please do it.
You don't have any question, Mr. Eko? Usually you have a lot of questions.
Is Echo? Is there another speaker?
There's only one speaker, but some of the people who participate in this forum also expert as well
Okay.
know about the traditional Chinese medicine, I think.
Okay.
That's correct?
Yep. There's one, Mr. Yandi Sulaiman. You can ask more questions, Noni, if you want to. It's okay.
Well, I don't want to hog the space, I don't
No,
want
no, not at all. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Mr. Yandi, please go ahead.
I don't consider myself as an expert. I think you are better than me. But I have been considering this. As I start watching your this Zoom meeting, I start feeling some itchy, and I'm thinking if I have anger problem.
Anger problem, yes.
Anger problem.
Since Yandi.
Yes, I do have some issue with my brothers.
Yes.
He is so stubborn because he's handicapped. Yeah. And I starting things about seeing some patient of mine who have emotional problems, have anger problems. I start treating them, but I'm thinking their problems is originate from their surroundings environment. Maybe they have problem with their spouse, with their bosses, or with their wife, or anything. As a practitioner, what we do is diagnose them, treating them with acupuncture of herbs, but we cannot change their environment, the things that cause the problem. So we think about that as well as a practitioner. Or for example, if they are losing their partners, what shall we do? So we try to find him a new partners like that. If they are losing their jobs, like in this coronavirus COVID situation, so we try to find them a new job. So this could solve their whole problems. Because if they have stagnation, liver stagnation problem, as a practitioner, we just regulate their liver, giving some herbs, or recommend some food therapy, but their problems is not resolved. What shall we do? Maybe you have some insight about this. Thank you, Dr. Sony.
Thank you, Sensei Andy. Thanks very much. Yes, I think if we are doing the data collection, I mean, like doing those diagnosis techniques in a complete way, we will find everything about them. And then we need to be very careful explaining to them what we have found, on our diagnosis, what you call process, right? Like for instance, once I have these patients with eczema, 50 years of eczema. Can you imagine that? And then he's 55. She's 55, sorry. And later on, she became a baker. She owns a special factory, special bread factory for people with gluten-free. It's very successful. But then I found out that's the one that, makes the eczema like really, really forever on her. So I was like really confused. I think you're right, Andy, the situation. I couldn't explain because I know she loves this factory so much. It's just like her baby, and it's very famous. It was very successful. She can export it her products to Singapore. Can you imagine that, from New Zealand? Because there is no not so many factory like the one that he owns. Until one day, what I was doing was like trying to improve, her organs, like all those 5 important organs, those 5 managers. Until, one day after I explained, well, I said, you never stop thinking, like 7 days a week, 24 hours. And then she suddenly, has this insight, had this insight. He said, okay, I think I know why. And then I just explained, well, if you say, you are not doing those jobs, like that, say, like your oven, like it's not working very well. You have to find out, like how to rent, another oven, and then all those kind of things. And then she realized that the factory that she owns, is the one that makes her brain working, all the time. And then she decided to sell it. I was so happy. I said, and then it's not from me, it's from her. And then at the end, the factory was sold, and then she's not working. Now she's working to another food factory, only part-time, like 20. And then she said that she signed a contract of 23 hours in a week. And then her skin problem was like nearly gone, I would say, like those 50 years problem. When the skin problems like a little bit relapse, and I asked her, what's happened with you? And then she she's like what's called known by herself. Yes, I work more than 23 hours, like 25 hours. So she reduced her hour again another week after. So yeah, we just have to explain. We just to explain, with honesty, like you have this, you have that, all right? So it's not like, like we are, like only prescribing. Okay, you eat this one, or you take this herb. No, we explain bit by bit, and then until they understand, like all those problems, like this. And it's coming actually, from themselves or made by themselves. I have another patient from East Java, and then I tried to explain it, but oh my God, like she was like not trying to change, herself. Until I said, well, if you want your liver better, I said, you have to change house. You have to move. I said, you have to move house. I told her, I said, otherwise you'll be like this for the whole for the whole time until the rest of your life. I told her. And then and at the end she admitted, yes, said, this situation is like make me like having, like a lot of stress. Yes, and then I said, you have. I know she can do it, but it's just like she doesn't want to do it. And then the one that really stressing her, it's not actually very important for her. It's not her kids. It's not her husband. You know, it's not. You know, like it's all other families. You know, family member. So we have to explain. I know it's not easy. Like the one that you sincerely about, like people losing their jobs, losing. Trust me, if we are treating their organs very well, they will have a better or even a good insight what to do. Maybe they will start their own business. Who knows? I've seen people who was like really desperate, right, in depression. But then when the organ is good, especially the liver, because the liver is the one that manages the drives, also the motivations. All of a sudden, they were like, okay, I will do this, I will do that. I have a patient who is like the wine tester, and then he was educated in a special training to testing the wine, and then not a lot of people, like can do that. And then she has a better position in the wine company. But like there's a lot of things. He own a house, he own a wife, but like everything is like always like it's not making him any and happy, like so when he's coming to my clinic, it's like usually it's like crying, a man in his 30s, like crying, on my bed. I just working, like trying to improve his organs, until one day, all of a sudden, I was sitting back, sitting straight, and then he said, okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do this, to do that, selling my house, and then going to China, and then all those kind of things. He was so happy. He was so happy. He said, I know. He said, I don't, no, I don't. I'm not worried about losing my job. I said in my mind, of course. Like if you are resign from this company, and there are 10 other wine companies like offering you like a good position, right? And then he knows about it, but he's still like like he don't have any like a joyful life. But then when the organ is good, he is like really happy. I have another man, 24 years old, from a good company, a good family, and then he was depressed, and then he didn't want to get out from his room for weeks. And then his parent brought him to my clinic, and then after a while, work on him. One time, the parents, the father who is and the mother who are also my patients, told me, my son was like, when we were having breakfast, he came out from his room and he said, Mom, Dad, anything that I can do for you? They were all so surprised. Never happens, in his life. That, Mom, I want to do something for you. Dad, I want to do. And then now he's a busy person. He's a very busy person. All right. So I think we don't have to limit our capacity. All right, because Chinese medicine working with somebody's life. We don't have to like to own a factory or a business or anything, and then so people can work on us. No, they will the one who's trying to get a better decisions. And then I've seen a lot of my patients like that. So they're starting with their complaint, with crying, with this, with that, and all of a sudden they just jump out from their bed, from from my bed, my clinic bed, and then they're saying, I want to do this, I want to do that. All right. So because the liver, talking about the liver also managing the drives, the motivations. So that's why people, when their liver is there, they don't have this motivation. That's why they are depressed. When their liver is better, ooh, be very careful. Be very careful. I have a 67 years old patient. who, all of a sudden, likes to go, out, all the time. Said, I want to see the world. I want to see this. Before that, it was like, like, staying in his room all the time. So I have to be very careful also when working with the effort. Okay. Thank you sincerely for the questions.
Thank you, Dr. Sony. My question might be sounds a little bit strange, but I ever visit a psychiatric hospital a while ago. This hospital staff told me that they give a job to their patient as a parking lot staff, and that amazed me because they not only treating their patient, but they also give him a job as a solution. So
Right.
this is why my question to you come from.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
My experience.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Just trust me, like if somebody's, having a good health, like, I mean, in Chinese medicine, it's, the parameter is really clear. The good health means your internal organ is in a good level. So if they are having this internal organ in a good level and stable, not only good, but stable, right? They will have a better decision. Trust me. I have some couples, no need, sorry.
Yeah.
maybe, sorry, hopefully this not will, like, what you call, disturb you. But I have some couple who's on the brink of their marriage, what's called a relationship. And then I have worked with, one of them, not only. And then they cancel their plan to get divorced. And then I'm not, like a psychologist myself. My late wife was like a psychologist. I'm a psychologist, but when your organ is better, they will make a better decision, even the best decision. I have one of my patients, a wife who was like, like running away from the house. And then I said, why? I just said, why? I know I hate it. I just work on her. And then after a while, I said, how's your husband? Oh, I love him so much. He's the best husband in the world. I was like, I was like, like, I was like, I said, you said, like before, oh, you hate him so much. Yeah. So when your organ is good, your psychological aspect is good, and then more than that, your decision making also will be better. Trust me. And then it's already, the human being is already created like that by God. So all of our structure, our body structure, it's one of the best, right? So thank you.